ladies and gentlemen, Byron Alvarado.
Thank you. Micah, can you tell me when I have about 7 minutes? Okay. All you guys are way too young to know this song, right? So that's what I'm going to be talking about. All right. So again, thank you for coming. My name is Byron Alvarado. I'm a financial strategist. So I'm going to go over a few slides, make it real simple. I have 7 minutes. So really, everyone needs to understand the reason why. Why are you saving? Why aren't you saving? Why are you protecting what you have or going to have, or why aren't you? Right? Everyone's situation is different. So I actually have a blueprint. Just like a lot of professionals, they have blueprints. If someone's building a house, you expect them to have a blueprint, not just kind of pick material and kind of throw things together. So I'm going to break down, it's 3 different areas that people should consider when they're looking at their financial plan and what they can actually do with their money. So one is protection. When I say protection, it's really all your insurances that someone can think about, right? We all love to talk about insurances, but we really have to understand, why are we putting our money there, or why aren't we? There needs to be a reason why. We're either protecting ourselves or our family or our future possibility. The second is savings, right? Once we deal with our lifestyle, we have to save. If we don't save, we're not going to have this third area. And I want to go over, and I have a lot of discussions with people who say, well, how much should I save? Well, it depends what you want on the back end. What are you doing it for, right? Sacrificing your lifestyle today to save for the future, right? And then the next area is long-term wealth building. And it's kind of hard to see, but I actually put it on the Slack channel, the slides. Well, in the long-term wealth building, there's the lighter blue area, that's short-term savings, emergency funds, right? We all know that we should have an emergency fund, right, long-term. There's 2 other areas there. The darker blue is where you can build in long-term wealth, right? And I'm going to tell you what types of financial products go in those different areas, or could go in those areas, and everyone should determine, if I do something in those areas, what am I going to get back out? Okay, a little delay. So the first area of the protection, I really don't have nothing to do with this, except I can consult all your auto and commercial insurance and house insurance, living trusts. So those are other professionals that I work with. And there's reasons why I work with those professionals, because we're protecting other things, right? Another area people ask me, well, is disability. If you're in your working years, what's the greatest asset? It's yourself. It's your ability to open your store. It's your ability to go work, to sell, to whatever you're doing. And if you can't get that paycheck, how hard is it to build wealth? Much less live, right? So that's disability insurance. The next area is life insurance and long-term care. So I classify and put those in those areas because those are true expenses, but we're doing it for a reason. We're not doing it for a reason, right? But you should really understand what those areas happen if those events happen, right? You can't come back and redo those decisions in those areas. So underneath each box, on the first box to your left, the auto, that protects that asset. The next area protects your income, right? So you kind of have to think about it. What is it doing? What's the purpose of it? The next area protects your income and assets. So term life insurance protects other people and the ability I die prematurely, and they have enough to live off how many years. So you can actually plan those things and know the right amount. That's what I help clients do. And then long-term care, usually you think of people in life for healthcare costs. That protects this other next area, the long-term wealth building, because usually that's a higher expense than normal expenses. So in the long-term wealth building, in the short term, you're looking at CDs, savings, right? Things that we're not at risk, low yielding typically, right? But there's another area that you could put in, that I can classify that is something we probably won't get into today, but it's life insurance. Cash value life insurance can fit in that for short-term access to money. Now in the middle dark blue box are things that I put in there because they all react to economic environments. Stock market, your business, real estate, are typical things that we can put our money in, right? Now those react differently to whatever the economic environment goes up and down. Now the other box is something that no one really knows about, but it's permanent life insurance, and there's different types of permanent life insurance in there. The real reason people should ask, why should I build one bigger, or should I put money in any area, is because ultimately you need to decide, if you make it to retirement, how do all your assets work to give you the max amount of income, or the max amount to replace your lifestyle income. That's really the key. It's not, can I accumulate $1 million? It's, can I replace my income or percentage of my income so I can live off for the rest of my life without running out of money? Because again, in retirement, we're talking about 15, 20, 30, 35 years. Not even talking about potential legacy that we may have for our kids or church or charity. So my blueprint really shows, and we should have a blueprint. It's like playing the game without having a game board. Making decisions but not understanding why. It sounds great in a decision, but how does that fit with everything else you're doing? And I think people should be doing everything within balance, just like your health, within balance. Other areas shouldn't be too big. You shouldn't be way overinsured, or just have so much in real estate, so much have in the stock market, so much in life insurance. There's ways you can calculate, but you have to understand if those events happen, or when that time comes, how are you going to get that money out? Again, because it's all about lifestyle, right? And so at the end of the day, one of the major things I do is retirement planning. 8 out of 10 people are going to get to retirement. Now, what that retirement looks like, they haven't talked about those things, right? So with this blueprint, my process, I can show people if they're saving with exact same savings, same time period, they can typically get 30 to 50% more income in retirement without taking additional risk. Because there's something we don't understand, is how to take that money out. And I can significantly improve their chance of not running out of money. As well as, if someone has a legacy dream, I can even make their legacy bigger. So I deal with in all those areas with certain products. Now, you've seen this before, the retirement income stool. So that blueprint goes into the personal savings retirement. What are you doing with your own money? Now, your total income, that's going to be a part of your income. The next income, if people have pensions, they need to understand how they're going to take money out of those pensions. And the third is Social Security. Add all those 3 legs, if you have those, will give your total income. And at the end of the day, it's just like, what's my paycheck today? What's my sales going to be so I can buy the goods that I need to buy? Well, that's the same thing in retirement. Nothing changes on a Friday to a Monday. And so here's typically, it's hard to see. Here's actually a client where I showed, they were 55, 10 years to retirement. They're putting money away, but I actually showed them how they could position to get around $100,000 more of income than what the path that we're currently going on. So if you're doing the exact same thing, but getting a lot more on the back end, it's almost a no-brainer. So I actually, I have all my securities licenses from 7, 63, 24, 65, and my life insurance license in California. So that allows me to talk about those things and build a financial plan. Before that, real quick, I was in engineering. So I've been in business 14 years, and I was in engineering for 8 years. So I come back from how to build a strong financial plan, because it is a system. It's not just one isolated decisions. Okay? So now I want to quickly go over, people had questions. Okay, so describe what other type of investments besides 401ks, IRAs, ones that wouldn't be taxed. So if I want to go here real quick. Well, IRAs are retirement plans. So you have to understand, when you put an investment inside a retirement plan, there's certain rules that you have to abide by. 59.5, if you take that money out, that's why that goes into the middle dark blue section for retirement. And so you have to understand, if I need to take money out, so it's not a good place to put for if I need that money tomorrow to quit, because there's penalties coming out. Typically, all your money will be taxed. You just have to decide when you want to tax those dollars. You can get tax deductible, tax deferred, and taxable on the back end. Those are IRAs, 401ks, and those types of plans. Or you can decide to pay taxes today, grow that investment or savings, and grow at tax-free. You can't get all three, meaning tax deductible, tax deferred, and tax-free. Okay? Another question real quick. What is the one thing that every family should have no matter what their income is? If you have small kids, you got to assess your disability and your life insurance. I mean, that's up to you whether that's the love note that you're really leaving behind or when you're there and you're going to see the family struggle. So that's my opinion. Is there any new product in your industry? You know, the financial world's been around. There's really no financial product. It's just what marketing people dress it up as. There's just the core products. You know. So sometimes I tell people don't believe the hype. There's always good and bad with all financial products. What age do you suggest starting college? Right when they're born, or sooner. The first 10 years, I typically say, because the last 8 years, you don't really get compounding working for you. First 10 years, fund something, and then maybe back that off and let that grow. And the last thing is view term and whole life insurance. Well, many of you might not know those things, but term goes into the pure protection. It's just value if you die early. And then whole life or other types of insurances, life insurance, you have to look at it differently and explore that. Because that actually is an asset. You talk to a mortgage person, there's a reason why the bank lists all your assets. But how do you use it and how do you buy the right amount for what you're doing? So I think I'm out of time, but I appreciate everyone listening and hopefully you got some value from it.
Yeah.
Thank you.